a story which was in that book, Open the Door of Your Heart, I haven't told here for many years. When we first came to this centre 22 years ago or something, quite a long time ago, we invited the then Governor of Western Australia, Sir Gordon Reid. You know, we have the Reid Highway, that's named after him, Sir Gordon Reid, to open our centre. We were just starting off in those days, and we wrote the letter to Government House over in St George's Terrace, and we never thought that he would accept. And he did. And that was just such a boost for us. We got another big shot coming to our opening ceremony. So as soon as we got him to come to our opening ceremony, you know, I was number 2 monk, Ajahn Brahm was the senior monk, and we had to do a lot of organisation. And even now I'm just really in the thick of things, organising things. And so I was a monk who was organising the marquee and the chairs for our guests. And we were told at the time, even though we didn't have much money, this was our big show, we wanted to make an impression. So I was told by our treasurer at the time, don't worry about the funds, get the very best. You know, making a show, do it good. So what I did, I rang around the hire companies in Perth and got one in Cottesloe, you know, which hired out, you know, the tents to the Peppermint Grove set, because we want to have a really good show. And I remember just calling them, I'd ringing many people, I said, look, we want a beautiful tent, nice chairs, we've got the Governor of Western Australia coming with his wife and a few politicians, so let's have about 10 special chairs, nice ones, you know, for the Governor and the police, and just, you know, other nice chairs for everybody else, beautiful marquee, okay? And when it came on a Saturday afternoon, we're having the ceremony on a Sunday, I was busy working, round the back helping somebody else, when the truck came to unload the chairs and the marquee. So when I came out to inspect, the truck had already gone. I just could not believe just how dirty that marquee was. It was full of red dust, as if it had been in some sort of agricultural show, you know, in the far whoop-whoops of Western Australia. But that wasn't really a problem, because you know, you can have a hose, you could hose it down. So we started hosing it down, then I checked the chairs. And the chairs were equally filthy. So immediately, there was enough helpers here, we got rags and started to wipe them down. It was a bit over the top, but at least we could do something. When I checked the VIP chairs, that was just unfixable. These were chairs for the Governor of Western Australia. And of those 10 chairs, there was not one chair, I'm not exaggerating, not one chair whose legs were the same length. They all wobbled. Not small amounts, but considerably. I think, gee, we can't have the governor, or even worse, his wife, falling over during our ceremony. And of course, that's something you can't fix. So I immediately rang up the firm. So it must have been a Friday, so not a Saturday, they must have delivered on a Friday. Because when I rang them up, they were about to shut the office. The girl, or the manager, was just cleaning up, and I told her what had happened. She said there was a problem, because all the workers had gone home for the weekend. But being Australia, they hadn't gone home, they'd gone to the other office, the pub. So she went to the pub to tell him that the Buddhists needed some chairs. Now you can imagine the scene. Now, you've been in Australia long enough. Imagine you're one of these workers, you're knocked off on a Friday, having a nice, you know, few drinks, you know, with your friends. And you've got to go back to work because of the Buddhists. And those sorts of guys, you know, they don't know about opening the door of your heart and letting go. So when the truck came up this road, this time I was waiting for it. And you know sort of the road, you know, from the corner of Constant Street up to this building over here. The truck was coming along, it was slowing down, but it hadn't stopped. It was about halfway between, you know, this building and the corner. A guy jumped out of the truck. And he came running with his fist clenched like this. Where's the bloke in charge? I want the bloke in charge. He was crazy, he was mad. He was so angry. So I went up to him and said, I'm the bloke in charge. And there was this wonderful moment where he put his fist about this far from my face, and his eyes were wide. And worse, you could smell the beer on his breath. That was the most beer I've breathed in all the years I've been a monk. And he had this amazing situation. He was about to stop me. And everybody, because there's heaps of people around, because we were working, setting things up, they all stopped and looked. Not one of my so-called supporters came up to give me any sort of hand. Thank you, friends. That was the amazing thing. Does everyone watched, see what would happen next? Gee. But of course I never needed any help. It was amazing, just, you were still. You were not afraid. You accepted that person's anger. I never tried to defend myself or try to explain. Look, you gave us these dirty chairs, it's a dirty marquee, you got the blooming governor coming tomorrow. What do you expect? You've got to come and change it. This is not good enough. I never got angry. Instead I was just so still and peaceful and kind. No one can harm you when you're like that. And it was for me, being mindful, just watching him. Just a few inches, his eyes were away from mine. His fist was right in front of my face. He could have knocked me out just in a second and I would not have had any defense at all. Instead I just held him with kindness. And it was an amazing experience. You had complete control over that guy. 100%. He could not hit you. I knew he couldn't hit me. Because to have violence, I needed to respond with some sort of anger, even a small amount of anger to irritate him, to get him to go to the next level. Because I was not responding, he couldn't go to any more level. And he was stuck there. Because he'd run out, it took maybe 3 or 4 minutes for the truck to park. And I was just there with him, just frozen in time. I was actually enjoying this power. I was indulging. I shouldn't have done that, but it was interesting.